Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. It's my pleasure to be back with you today. Today, we are going to discuss how nature benefits our mental health. Now, listen, I already know and I can hear the whines, the groans, the moans that I myself would have made 6 months ago. Cam, listen to me. I don't go outside. I don't do the water, has always been my thing. Beaches, lakes, ponds, has always kind of been a heat beep of mine. Listen to me. I'm not saying you have to become Bear Grylls. I'm going to tell you factual things about if you're struggling with mental health, or you have, or you know someone that is, and you're seeking every answer possible for remedies, right? We're seeking to heal broken souls. So I'm giving you information that has helped me personally, right? Okay. Getting out in nature can be difficult. I grew up in the city. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio is thought of as quite a rural place, but where I grew up, it was not. My mother and I were just laughing about it, but we'll get into that maybe another time. I didn't go outdoors in the wilderness. We were constantly in the streets, skateboarding, playing hockey on asphalt and pavement where there wasn't really bugs or wildlife or things like that, right? We were in a city park if we were in a park. So then I joined the military where I was forced to sleep outside in a single-man tent and learn that, you have to strip naked to actually stay warm and things like that. It sucked. You would be stuck in the rain with shitty food. It was no fun. And they also don't care about things like fear of snakes and enjoying being warm while you sleep. The military doesn't really care about those things. So I kind of swore off nature and wildlife altogether, especially things like camping. I was made to do it involuntarily for 8 years of my life. So I had always had this very negative attitude towards nature. And I just thought, we are human beings. We are evolved. Have evolved past being out in the wilderness, right? We are better than wilderness is kind of the idea that I think many people have in today's day and age, that we are above it. I can tell you that that is so not true, and we'll get into that later in the episode. Let's just talk about the very obvious, right, benefits of going outside. Right? Just being outside. If you're not moving your body or anything like that, but you're just going outside, you're getting direct sunlight, which is good for your skin. It's good for your mood, obviously. There's a lot of studies that prove that just being in sunlight can boost endorphins in your body. Then you get things like, per a neurological doctor, they say that the direct light in the morning in your eyes is very important. For most of us, it's artificial. The first light most of us see in the morning is our phone screen, either turning off our alarm, or we are already up and we're scrolling, or there's a TV on from the night before, whatever. I have mood lighting all around my house. It's all artificial lighting. Remember, the early human being would wake up in a cave to natural sunlight, and our circadian rhythms were with the sun and with the light. So that is a very important thing to what you are, which is a human being. Don't ever forget that. So the first bout of light you see in the morning is super important for your cognitive behaviors and function that day. Well, we have to take that into note. So I've talked about this a bit, where I go the first hour of my day really trying to disconnect from my phone, not trying to be on it so much. Now, I'm not perfect. There are still mornings I scroll because I choose to. There are some mornings that I'll turn a song on and leave my phone on the other side of the room. But I've actually been sleeping better because I've been getting out in nature. Again, we'll get to that. So when we are in nature, the timing of it, while it is important to focus on when that first light hits your eyes for your mood and cognitive function that day, understand just getting out there, it all helps. It's good to breathe in fresh air. This is all just factual things that I'm trying to get out of the way quick before we deep dive into why it's really good for the soul and why it's good for our mental health. There's something to walking. I have been walking and hiking. If you guys haven't been watching the videos, I hope you'll go check those out. I gave up skateboarding, which was my way to get outside and be outdoors and enjoy it. I gave it up because I turned 30 this year, and while I still enjoy to watch it and, think about it and whatever, I'm getting too old to get hurt like that. I have kids. I'm not going to be a professional skateboarder. Don't want to be. But it was just a way for me to be outdoors and do something, really, and have a way to set a goal to achieve it in a fun way. Now I do that with like hiking and nature stuff, and I've noticed that has given me a new goal in life, a new task, a new objective to focus on is, okay, I'm hiking at this point. I just bought camping gear to take my family camping. It's like, okay, well, I'll be the first one to go out and do a solo camp first, see how safe an area is, and then I'll bring my family out. So like it's all these adventures of testing boundaries and fears. Is a serial killer going to come get me in the woods or something? Is a bear going to come up? I live in Tennessee. I don't really think I live anywhere where a bear would wander. I'm probably about 4.5 hours away from something like that. 4.5 hours is where the Smokies are, and I want to go visit the Smokies. I've lived here in Tennessee for years, and I still have yet to go. I've been there before, but I haven't gone since I've been here. And it's like, well, it's because I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go walk through the hills. Why? What do I want to go walk through the trees for? I got trees in my backyard. And it's like, I used to say this dumb shit out of fear. And look, just by taking a walk in nature, which I made it a routine about 6 months ago that I started doing every morning, I started to notice these little fears. Oh, spider, and I would jump. Oh shit, I saw a snake. And then I documented all this on all my social media. As you can see, as I'm encountering these animals for the first time, I'm reacting in real time. Like, oh shit, I never thought I would handle this way. So, and then nature walks turned into long nature walks. I was starting with like half mile, then it would become a mile and a half, 2.5 miles, 3.5 miles, and then I ended up walking like 5 miles. Because I noticed as much as it was helping me, I was craving more. Why? Excuse me. Why was I craving more? Because I was still listening to music, podcasts, stuff like that while I was going out. And I wasn't disconnecting from this society that is. Society is not anymore just people as a whole. Now it's our phone. It's everything that goes on within our phones, the alerts, the what's happening now, the trending swipings, notifications. You can't deal with it. Listening, taking in input, it'd be like trying to walk down a nature trail and read a book. You're missing the point. And I did that for so long. I was engaged with the conversation on a podcast, so I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't realize I just walked past a huge ass spider. Oh my god. And then I would learn these lessons like, yeah, but you didn't even notice that threat there. You were being so oblivious. In a negative way, you could have got hurt. In a positive way, you were so in the moment, you didn't even notice it, so it wasn't an issue for you. You see the duality of lessons you can learn once you see how tunnel vision we can be sometimes. And our phones create that so much. As someone who is a content creator by profession and as someone who tries to focus on mental health, it's a serious battle for me because it's like I can always rationalize I'm doing this for a purpose, but I have to be honest with myself when I'm doing it for entertainment or to fulfill some kind of selfish desire. When I started doing it, it was just a way for me to get out in nature, was like, okay, I'll still listen to my podcasts or read my books. Somewhere around the 3-month mark, I didn't want to listen to anything anymore. I had this like desire to just be with nature. And then here in Tennessee, there's a lot of cicadas and they can be really annoying. And you notice the thing that annoys you so much is so minuscule and so little when you get to see the way the sun hits leaves, and it's truly marvelous. It's not just an exaggerated use of the word that I think we're so guilty of a lot, where we look at things and go, that's beautiful, that's miraculous, that's marvelous, when we've lost sight of what that really is. When you look at why we have these deep emotional connections to thoughts, feelings, plans, goals, summer loves, wedding days, it's because of visuals most times, and auditory things and smells that you can imagine, that you can recall. Well, when you're in the presence of nature just being nature, no one organized this isn't someone's wedding that's perfectly set up for the sun to shine here. You're taking a walk in nature. It's just what it is, right? There's a crazy ass spider walking along the path while the sun is doing some of its most beautiful work on this one single tree, while every other tree is cast away by shadows. And again, in that moment, I had a thought, like, every tree gets its time in the sun, or else it wouldn't grow the way it is. So, and that's the same for all of us. And again, you get these almost meditative type life lessons just from walking in nature. And then you realize not that your problems aren't real and that they are small, because that's not the case. They are real and they're big to you in your life. But you can give yourself the hindsight again to go, I am very small, but I am also very large. I can crush all these bugs. I choose not to. I'm not going to hurt anything that's in its natural environment. There's all these animals out here that I've been so afraid of that don't want to mess with me at all. They want to stay far away from me, and I'm in their territory, so I owe them the respect to let them be what they're being. And it gives you a respect. It's a humility. You do gain confidence when you walk past certain animals, and they almost bow to you in a way by running away because they know what threat you could be. And then it makes you ask yourself, like, if that fucking deer attacked me, what would I do? And my first thought is like, yo, I'm grabbing your antlers and taking you to Cracktown, son. I'm taking that neck to sleep, dog. And I'm talking crack. I'm taking you out. But I would rather not do that. I grew up watching some wild shit with animals. Like, I watched people punt gooses and like kick dogs that were attacking children, kick dogs across floors, and watch a dog just get back up and run away from a person. So like, I've seen wild shit in wildlife that I just choose not to associate with. But also you realize with fears, they are irrational. Deer don't want to mess with you. They want to stay far away from you. I can't speak to coyotes and wolves. I haven't encountered those. I did experience a bear when I was in the Smokies in Tennessee, but the park rangers saw it before we did and would not let us go anywhere near it. So that sucked. Snakes, from what I've noticed, they don't want to fuck with you at all. They just want to stay hidden away until you pass. Spiders, you just got to watch ahead. They'll get on you if you walk through their webs, obviously, but they're not trying to jump at you or anything like that out there. Birds are beautiful. They're really, if you come from a suburban or, a city environment like I did, birds are a pest at all times. They poop on you. They're annoying. They wake you up and shit. When you're in touch with nature and you appreciate a bird song, it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. And it's hard to start a bad day if you make it a practice as soon as you wake up in the morning to step outside seeking bird song and sunlight. It makes for a great morning. I'll just tell you this. It makes for a great morning to wake up, solo dolo, no phone, no anybody with you, no nothing. Step outside. If you drink a glass of water is what I should tell you. I usually have my coffee, just keeping it real. Step outside and just enjoy 15, 20 minutes of fresh air, sunlight, figure out what your local sunrise time is and set your circadian rhythm to that. And then you notice how getting ready in the morning is not such a rush. Oh my gosh, I have all this time. What am I going to do? I don't know. Take care of yourself. Journal. You might do some yoga. You might watch a show you like in the beginning, like me. It all starts with understanding how connected you are to everything. And I wanted to discuss this too because I think that is a very hokey thing to say. When we say we are connected to all things, we are, right? We get the oxygen that we breathe in our lungs from the trees and photosynthesis and shit like that, right? So that is a fact that we are plugged into nature. At the same token, am I telling y'all that this TikTok trend where people are walking up the trees going, "Tree, touch my shoulder if you can hear me," and then the wind blows and the tree comes down and goes, "I can talk." Yo, this is not Pocahontas. I'm not saying that some of that grandmother in the Pocahontas spirit tree or whatever that shit was not. Maybe it was factual, and maybe I just haven't learned enough about how to tap into that. The common everyday person that would write that shit off as woo-woo, whatever, I'm speaking to you because I'm in the similar boat to you that a tree who possibly has stood hundreds of whatever fucking years probably doesn't care that Brittany from TikTok is walking up going, "Tree, if you can hear me and you can tell that I'm in a bad mood, come down and..." It makes you feel special, and I appreciate that, right? If I tried it, I'm not going to lie to you. I tried it, and it feels weird to sit there and be like, "Oh my God, that thing's getting closer to me." But again, a lot like what twin flame readings and tarot card readers or pastors or all these different motivational speakers, life coaches, whatever shit you get your advice from, everybody is going to, at the end of it, either give you a "I don't know" or they're going to feed you a supernatural theory. That's the only two options someone can give you. Because we don't know, right? If we as human beings knew that we had the ability to take our shoes off, drink an 8-ounce glass of water, spin around 3 times, take a deep inhale, do the perfect Kundalini breath, touch a tree, and now we're in touch with all living organisms to the point where we could communicate with it and it with us, we would know that by now. Hey, listen to me. We'd know that. We would all know it. You think most of us would choose not to do that? We pay a lot of money for drugs and hallucinogenic experiences these days. It's big in mental health research. Why? It's connecting people back to nature. They're swearing that they can feel that essence while on hallucinogenics. We know that human beings can only experience like a very small amount of what light is actually doing in our reality. We just are not able to perceive it. We have our eyes, we have our ears, we have taste, we have touch to be able to help us experience more. But we notice like birds can hear tones and they communicate in ways that we don't understand, like supersonically through sound waves, and like bats and shit. So to say like, "Oh, I don't understand what a bat is doing or how it operates, or so it must have nothing to do with me." No, it has a lot to do with you because it's keeping you safe from bugs that could fucking kill you but provides for it. Same with a spider and a snake and all these things. And again, if you want to sit around and make your life small and go, "Camping's not for me, hiking's not for me, I don't go outside, I don't want to experience these things," I'm not telling you not to prepare for what could be. I carry guns and knives and shit. If I encounter something, it's going to get handled. But it's like, yo, you got to get out there, man. Because living in your 4 walls, swiping on your phone, I'm just telling you, it is orchestrated. It's orchestrated, and I don't know what agendas you're being fed because I don't know what your personal hobbies are. I don't know what your political leanings are. I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are. But I'm telling you, you're here for this show for mental health and how to get better with that. And I'm telling you, the algorithms are not suited for your best interest of your mental health. It might be suited for your best interest of your buying desires, your impulse feelings of pleasure, your dopamine feelings of pleasure. It might be great for those things, but as far as your mental health, I think it's very bad. It tells you that things are different than they really are. Go into nature, what really is, that's never changed. It's been here. Think about that. Nature has always been here. We ought to learn something from that. Nature constantly tries to teach you lessons, right? I've said this for a long time, and this is not to bash victims or whatever. This is a personal thing of mine that I've never been able to wrap my head around. After Katrina happened and I saw the devastation that happened to New Orleans, Louisiana, And then shortly after, it happened again. And then I think it happened again. And I'm like, why the fuck would anyone want to live in this town? If you know you're going to either have to build your house on a boat or rebuild everything you have after losing it, why would you not sacrifice this part of the country to nature and figure it out? Like, hey, nature's got a vendetta against this. And, and then I look as a spiritual person. New Orleans has this voodoo vibe and this, dark arts type thing, and it's kind of odd. And it's constantly struck by catastrophe and stuff like that. And I'm not saying Louisiana doesn't have beautiful aspects. I've met people from Louisiana, food, culture, great things. Hunting, their nature, their swamplands is fantastic if you're safe. The alligator people were huge stuff out of there. The Duck Dynasty people and their duck hunting. It's crucial for nature, but as far as people living there, if you want to live in any kind of modern, safe society, and I could be talking way crazy from someone who is there and chooses to rebuild their life after these constant things, I would love to hear from you because I would love to understand outside of just hometown pride why someone would continuously choose to do that. But again, it would give you a different relationship with nature if it was constantly crushing your family every 6 months. I remember when I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and they is in a little city called Lawton, Oklahoma, and there was like one Buffalo Wild Wings, a Long John Silver's was right across the street, and it was nothing but tattoo joints, strip clubs, and military uniform tailoring shops because they would put these special like cement walls around their buildings to be withstood after tornadoes would come through and rip everything else down, so people just stopped building shit in the city. It's this little podunk shithole city called Lawton, Oklahoma, right outside of Fort Sill, and it fucking sucks. Because it's nothing. There is no nature. It's dirt and sand, and everything's gray, and it's windy as fuck all the time. When it's hot, it's really fucking hot. When it's cold, it's really cold, and there's nothing to shelter you from any of it. There's no trees. There's no nothing. It sucks. Tornadoes rip the shit down every 6 months. If you don't put like permanent things in place like the base does to save it from it. But even the base gets shut down and stuff. So again, you have to look at these things as a human being and go, at what point are we not making bad decisions and going, oh, there are things we should surrender to nature. Right now, I'm really big on watching Alex Honnold. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a free solo psychopath who free soloed, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's mountain climbing, but without any gear on. So he's climbing huge mountains. El Capitan is the one he did where they made he won a Grammy for whatever it is in movies. He won the biggest award you can win in movies for documentaries because he free soloed the craziest thing that anyone ever has. It's an insane documentary if you watch it because it shows you the relationship between human and nature and how nature still conquers us on a daily basis. There are rocks we cannot climb. There are bodies of water we have not traveled. There are physical places we have not been or undiscovered. There's a place that exists where 39 people live. We don't know most of what happens in the ocean. We know like 20% of what actually happens in the ocean, and we are still trying to figure out space. So it's like, guys, if you need a new hobby, walk outside and look around. Pick something. Trees, got it. How do I connect to that? Be selfish with it. How do I connect to that? How does that tree help me? Gratitude comes real quick when you learn that you need them shits to breathe. Birds, they don't really help me much. Yeah? Put a bird feeder out. Put a couple out and watch how much your like mosquito, insect problem, spider problem goes away. Because you fed some birds. Oh, and now you're going to have beautiful cardinals, if you're like me. Beautiful cardinals and hummingbirds in your backyard every morning to chill with. That don't bother you. They don't want to come near you. You can hear their beautiful songs, chill, and it's great. You could look at a video on that on TikTok of somebody else doing it. And again, I record my shit. I take videos for people and I put them up on my stories and people tell me, I love seeing this. I don't get stuff like this. You gotta be willing, man. You gotta be willing to experience life again, and stop trying to engage with the synthetic version of it, which is online and in ads and being told by your friends because they're not telling you the truth of what their life really is or what they really want or whatever. Truth is in reality. Get back out in reality. Get back out in nature, and I promise you, start with baby steps, but watch how much confidence you'll gain. It's incredible. It's incredible. I hope you guys will take this advice. I hope you guys will like the video and let everyone else know that you liked it. That's what it does when you do that. Hit the subscribe button. I hope you guys will go and check out the hiking video I just did. I'm very proud of it. I was greatly inspired by a YouTuber that I've been following. His name is Go4x4, so go check him out for relaxing camping videos. And yeah, love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.